In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better, stay safer. Crimson Trace.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
You know, I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Also, of course, you can... a lot of ways to listen to Gun Talk. You can download it later, use it for podcast. You can listen with iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, of course. You can go to our website, guntalk.com, and go to listen and find a station that you listen to live, which is always fun. That way you can call in live. And, of course, you can time shift it. It's almost like DVR by recording it and listening to it later as the podcast. Also, of course, don't forget we do an after show, which is not available through your radio show, but is available for download, and it's, well, different. Fair enough. We'll just say it's different. It's we kind of it's not that we sometimes go off the rails. We always go off the rails with that one. So there you go. One of the people that I have worked with and enjoyed getting to know a good bit on my work with Knife Rights, which is a great group, Todd Rathner. Todd is plugged in on a lot of things involving guns, gun rights, knife rights, and what's going on with the Second Amendment. He joins us right now. Hey, Todd, how you doing, man?
Great, Tom. How are you?
Well, I am good. I guess, man, we could spend a bunch of time just talking about knife rights and what's going on there, but you have a personal story to share with us. I would like for you to just kind of relate, because it kind of goes to NRA, goes to responsible gun ownership, it goes to parenting, and a lot of the themes we talk about a lot. You want to just tell what happened?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, by the way.
You bet.
A couple of weeks ago, it was a Sunday afternoon. I'd been working and decided to take a nap, actually, and I just about fell asleep, and my wife comes in the room and says, "Hey, you got to talk to Isaac right away. He's on the phone." And Isaac is my 14-year-old son, who is an avid hunter, avid shooter, avid knife collector. I mean, this kid is well known in the gun shows around the Tucson area here in Tucson as a wheeler dealer.
Okay.
And I couldn't imagine what she was interrupting me my much desired nap for in order to talk to Isaac, and she said, "Well, you really need to talk to him." So I get on the phone with him, and he says, "Hey, Dad, we found a gun." And I said, "What do you mean you found a gun, and who's we?" And he identified the two buddies he was with, who were 14 and I think 12. And they were out. We have these desert washes out behind the house, and they lead into other neighborhoods. And they had been out in the desert, and they had ended up in the neighborhood of one of his buddies. And he said, "Yeah, we found a gun." And I said, "Well, are you sure it's real?" And he said, "Well, it looks real." And I said, "Well, has anybody touched it?" And he said, "Well, one of the guys tried to pick it up, and I stopped him, and I told him that we should get you." So I said, "Okay, good. Just stand there. Don't touch it. Don't do anything, and I'll be right there." So I jump in the truck, and I run over there, and it's a 2-minute drive away. Mm-hmm. And I get out of the truck, and within a second, I looked down, and I realized that they really did. They found a real gun. They had found a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson. I believe it was the Sigma model, if I remember correctly, and mm-hmm. It's just laying there in the dirt. And so I grabbed some gloves out of the truck and picked it up and made it safe. And there was a cartridge in the chamber. And if anybody knows the Smith & Wesson Sigma series guns, there's no external safety. It's the striker fire, similar to a Glock.
Right.
And so I made the gun safe, and Isaac said to me, "Well, what are we going to?"
Todd, let me jump in there, because I want to explain for people that don't understand what that means. What that means is that had that other youngster picked that gun up and pulled the trigger, it would have gone bang.
That's right. With no interim step. There would have been no step. Just right. Pull the trigger, bang. And, we all know how kids can be. And guns are certainly a curiosity, and finding one out in the desert like that, maybe they wouldn't have assumed it was loaded or something like that. And so I took the gun back to the house, and I made it safe. I took it back to the house and called the police. And a police officer showed up, and he donned his rubber gloves and looked it over and asked me a few questions, asked the boys a few questions, and then he ran the serial number on the gun. And as it turns out, the gun had been in the backpack of a motorcyclist who had reported it lost. So apparently it was in his backpack, and the weight of it pulled the zipper open, and it fell out of his motorcycle, out of his backpack while he was riding his motorcycle. And so we have no idea though, because where we found the gun and where he says he lost the gun were sort of different places, and so that was part of the mystery, and we still don't know the answer to that, and I don't, because the police have the gun, and we're going to follow up with the owner. But there's a couple of things to this story that really stand out. Number one is that obviously the most important is that my son had the training, had the good judgment, and had the knowledge to not touch the gun, even though this is a kid who has handled all kinds of guns his entire life and owns his own guns, has fired a Glock many times, and understands that it could be dangerous because there is no external safety, and so you've got to treat it like a revolver. You got to treat it a little bit differently than you would a gun with an external safety. And
but he would be safe picking it up. I mean, he could have picked it up and unloaded it. He would have. But the thing that you said that got my attention is he stopped the other youngster.
Yes, and that's those are all important aspects of it, and he definitely could have picked it up and made it safe, but he had the judgment to say, wait a minute, I know the rules, we got to call Dad, we got to figure out what's going on, and afterwards talking with him, he was pretty clear. He said, look, I don't know the gun, it's not my gun, I don't know what happened, and he said to me, what if a cop rolled up and I had the gun in my hand, or a neighbor saw me with the gun in my hand? What could have occurred then? And I thought that was very insightful for a 14-year-old, because even if a CCW permit holder happened to see them, what could have potentially transpired if they saw a 14-year-old holding a gun in his hand in the middle of the street like that? And this gun was laying right there in the right of way between a home and the sidewalk. You know, there's these little blank areas of dirt out here in Tucson where there's a retaining wall for the house, and then you have a little space of dirt, and then you have a sidewalk. So it was laying right out there, and anybody could have found it potentially. But I just thought he had very good judgment. I also think the other lesson, there's two other lessons, and one of them is that you really ought to always have a list of the serial numbers of the guns that you own that you just keep privately in your gun safe or in a safe place, so that if you do lose a gun, and you can report it lost or stolen. And the third lesson is a bit less important, but nonetheless should be noted, and that is that you really ought to have a holster of some sort as opposed to just throwing it in your backpack.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that was a...
There's another thing here, and that is talk to your youngsters, boys and girls, about what do you do. Obviously, you get them involved in firearms, and that you teach them to be safe around guns, but also, what do you do if you find one? What do you do if, and this is the one that I've talked to my kids about when they were young, is what do you do if one of your buddies, you're at one of your buddies' houses, and they pull out a gun that may belong to a parent, say, hey, let me show you my dad's gun.
Sure.
Have those conversations with them. Of course, what I told them was, at that point, you need to get out of the house right now. Turn around. Don't say boo scat. Just go. Get out.
Right. And I credit the NRA's Eddie Eagle program, and I really do, because my son watched it when it was still on a VCR tape back in the day. 10 years ago, maybe 11 or 12 years ago as he got older, and he watched it over and over and over again, and I made sure that he watched it. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him about it. He also attended an Eddie Eagle class here in Tucson, believe it or not, at a local golf course that agreed to put it on at the request of a city council member, a pro-gun city council member here in Tucson named Fred Ronstadt. And I think it also points to one of the things that we've talked about for years and years and years, and that is an educated child is a safe child. And when the anti-gun folks essentially want to stick their head in the sand and pretend that guns don't exist and don't want to send their kids to the home. I remember when my kid was in elementary school, when Isaac was in elementary school, there were parents that didn't want their kids to come here because I'm a prominent gun owner and people know I'm a gun owner. I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm very proud of it. I'm in the newspapers all the time talking about gun laws, and so they assumed there were guns in the house, rightfully so. But they wanted to stick their head in the sand and not have their kid educated and just say, oh, don't let them go over there because it could be dangerous. Meanwhile, it would probably be much safer if they said, hey, would you teach my kid about guns? My brother, who doesn't own guns, whenever his kids are here, he says, can you take them out and let them shoot? Can you teach them to shoot? My brother's not an enthusiast about guns and not interested, but he wants his kids to be safe, and he knows that I'm going to teach them.
Oh, and then the Eddie Eagle program, for those that don't know, it's a great program. It's actually a gun avoidance program for kids. It says, look, if you come across a gun, stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. Simple as that. Todd, you did great. Pass along my attaboy to Isaac. He did a great job on this, and you should be very proud.
I am, and I sure will. Thanks, Tom.
All right, let's appreciate that. Man, that's a good story. That's a story that, by the way, won't make the papers. Good, responsible gun owners, 14-year-old. Preventing something bad from happening, finding a gun, turning it in, not touching it, making sure they preserve the evidence. Smart, thinking, insightful. Good term, 866-TALK-GUN. Range reports are welcome.
You already know Liberty safes are great values. Now they're offering an even sweeter deal for Gun Talk listeners. At LibertySafe.com, click on the Fat Boy safe and type in Tom. Liberty will give you up to $250 off your purchase. Protect the things you value most. LibertySafe.com, click the Fat Boy safe, promo code Tom, save up to $250. That's LibertySafe.com. LibertySafe.com.
Springfield Armory presents the Gear Up promotion. Until October 31st, customers who purchase any new Springfield Armory pistol can sign up to receive 3 additional magazines and a free double bag pouch by visiting gearup.springfield-armory.com. That's a value of up to $135. XDs, XDMs, the XDS, and all 1911s. To learn about all the Springfield Armory firearms, go to springfield-armory.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
Everyone talks about heroes, people who do amazing things in extraordinary situations. Well, I'm no hero. I'm just a guy who wants to protect his family, to keep them safe the best I can. It's my duty as a husband, as a father, and I won't ever let them down.
Introducing your new best friend in home defense, Guard Dog from Federal Premium Ammunition. With low recoil and reliable feeding, Guard Dog is all the protection you need. Guard Dog features a patented full metal jacket construction with an expanding polymer which minimizes overpenetration through interior walls. This dog's got bark and bite. Protect your home and family with Guard Dog Home Defense from Federal Premium Ammunition.
Stay connected with Gun Talk. Download the Gun Talk app for your smartphone and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Gun Talk Media and at youtube.com/Gun Talk TV. Now more Gun Talk.
All right, yeah, you can check it out. We, of course, have our Facebook, Gun Talk Media on Facebook. Lots of folks over there. Share your thoughts. Hey, I'd like to see targets. When you go out and shoot some targets, post pictures of targets. Let's see some videos. Also, it's hunting season. Let's see some critters. I've already had some buddies send me pictures of, elk, antelope, and bear so far. Those are kind of the early seasons. But there are a lot of seasons open now, so you can share those over there. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. We got a pair of Garys. First is line 3. Gary is in Dayton, Nevada. Hello, Gary. How you doing?
Pretty good, Tom. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I recently purchased a bunch of 7.62 NATO ammunition, and nice clean stuff. I was going to feed it to the 1919 Browning, and with it, really doesn't matter if it's corrosive primed or not. You can unscrew the barrel in the bathtub. But I have a match-grade M1A on the way, and I hesitate to shoot corrosive ammo in it, and I was wondering if anyone out there knew if this stuff was corrosive primed or not.
Well, I don't know, but I know how to find out.
It's marked POF, which I think Pakistani Ordnance Factory, 90 is the date on it. And beautiful stuff in cans. It looks like MG42 Lynx, the non-disintegrating type.
Right.
And it'll be nice to be able to use it in the M1A, but I'd rather not if it's corrosive primed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me ask you this. Do you have another, maybe... Well, where I was going to go is there's a way to test to see if ammo is corrosive. It basically involves just pull the bullet, pour the powder out, get you a very clean piece of steel, some kind of a disc or a square or something, and put the just a primed case in your gun, put the muzzle of the gun close to this piece of steel, fire it, and then set the steel out and let it corrode for a couple of days. Obviously, you got to clean your gun. If that is corrosive, a corrosive primer, of course, we're talking about the primer that's corrosive, then in a couple of days, that bare piece of steel will start rusting like crazy, and you'll go, okay, that's corrosive ammo. If it doesn't in 2 days, then ammo is not corrosive. But, of course, that does involve firing at least that one round with just a primer in your firearm, so you're going to have to clean your firearm carefully. Sounds to me like you're a guy that understands cleaning corrosive well, if you will, fouling out of a gun, so you could do that one time.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like I said, the 1919 Browning, you can unscrew the barrel and throw it in the bathtub if you want, but with the gas cylinder and all the other business on an M1A and various other types of guns, it gets a little more involved.
Yeah, exactly. So, you could test it that way, but I tell you what, now that we've got the info out, if somebody knows about this ammo, maybe somebody will call in and help you out. I don't know that ammo particularly, so I can't help. But like I said, I do know the way of testing it. But maybe somebody will give us a holler. Look, I appreciate the call, Gary. Let's go to another Gary. He's in Reno on line 4. Hey, Gary.
Hi there, Tom. I'm calling about your question. If you guys works a lot.
I'm losing your cell phone, so wherever you were, walk back to where you were. Try it again.
Okay, I'm calling from Reno, Nevada.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm calling about the question that you had about if we were implicated in the martial law, what would happen?
Okay, this is not going to work. Gary, I cannot understand anything you're saying. I don't know if we've got a bad connection. Yeah, we just dropped off cell phones. I tell you what, call back, Gary. If you're listening on the radio, call back. Or I tell you what, we've got, let's see if we can get Gary back. We'll get him in here. Line 2. Dan's with us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello, Dan. You're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom.
Yes,
got
sir.
a question for you. Over and under shotguns. You mentioned, it's been maybe a year or two back, about a new store opening in Texas that had nice over and under shotguns, reasonable priced. Do you recollect that?
Wasn't me. I don't know of a new store. Now, I've mentioned Dury's Guns over in San Antonio, but they're not new. They've been around a long time, but they have used guns there. And then one of the places that I go for, particularly for side-by-sides and over and unders, is Brian Belinsky's store in Traverse City, Michigan, Field Sport. It's fieldsportltd.com.
Field Sport?
Field Sport Ltd, like limited. fieldsportltd.com. He's always got a really good selection of side-by-sides and over and unders there. And I trust Brian completely in terms of their grading system, and they show pictures, and you can ask him questions. And he's one of the few, if not maybe the only one I know of, that actually does a measurement on the stock of the guns they're listing. They're used guns. And he'll say, okay, this is a 14 3/4 inch length of pull with a 3/8 inch cast on for a left-hand shooter, et cetera, et cetera. So you can say, oh, okay, that gun probably fit me. So that's kind of fun to be able to have that information when you're buying.
Yes, sir. Is there a store I can also call for single shot, the old single shot 12 gauges?
You probably, your best bet on that's going to be online. Well, first two things. One is just check local stores, do that. But online, I would check Gunbroker because they're going to have the most number of guns. Gunbroker.com is probably where I would go for that.
Got it.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Thanks so much, Dan. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Cam, we got time real quick. Cam, Jacksonville, Florida, line 3. Go, Cam. We don't have much time.
Tom, I just wanted to call you. We traded some emails back and forth this week. I've got a son who shoots an Ruger American 270, and I have a Ruger American 308. The things that you've been saying about them are absolutely true. They are very accurate. The problem I have is my son has 1 shot, 1 kill, and I have 3 shots and 2 kills. How do I fix that so my son doesn't talk trash to me anymore?
Oh, man, there are a lot of things I can do, but I got to tell you, family counseling does not qualify as one of them. I think what you're going to, because I'm not going to tell you to go mess up his scope or anything like that. That would just be evil. I'll tell you what you do. Just be proud, and I know you are. Be proud of it. But, yeah, you're right. Those are amazingly good buys. Accurate guns at good prices at Ruger American. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and you are listening to Gun Talk.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
One of the things that I am so encouraged about and so proud to be a part of is the Gun Talk Truth Squad. That's you. All the folks out there who are Gun Talk listeners who respond when we need help, basically. People who said, I'm not going to let news reports that are erroneous go unchallenged. I'm not going to just shrug and say that's the way it is. We have our no shrug policy. I will respond. I will comment. When there's an anti-gun PSA running, I will call the station and say, hey, that's not a PSA, that's an ad, and it's offensive, and I want it off the air. People who will get involved. I had this idea a couple of weeks ago. We were talking with Frank Fiamingo from the New Jersey Second Amendment Society, and we were talking about this case with Shanine Allen. She's the Pennsylvania mother of 2 who drove into New Jersey, had her Pennsylvania concealed carry permit, had a firearm, got stopped at a traffic stop. She did what she thought was right. She told the officer, hey, I've got my permit, I have my gun. The only problem was, of course, her permit wasn't good in New Jersey. She didn't realize that. Made a mistake. No intent to break the law. What should have happened, of course, is the officer should have said, lady, that permit's not good here. You need to get back to Pennsylvania. No. We put the cuffs on her, put her in jail for 40 days, and now she's being charged with a felony, facing somewhere between 3.5 and maybe as much as 10 years in prison for not having the right piece of paper. So we had this idea of, well, we just need to draw attention to it because people are out. Everybody who hears about this is outraged. Everyone. And I thought, well, how about let's put some billboards up to draw some attention to it? So I kind of had this idea, and I talked to Frank about it and talked to Alan Gottlieb, and so we pulled it together. So I've asked Frank to join us to give us the update on what's going on. So right now, Frank Fiamingo from the New Jersey Second Amendment Society. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show again.
You bet. So bring us up to speed. We had this crazy idea to put up some billboards around town there to try to get some attention. So what's happened since we last talked about this on the air?
Man, I got to tell you, first of all, I want to thank the many listeners that you have that donated to the program, to the new NJ2AS billboard project. We have we've contracted now for 4 billboards that are going up in and around the, 4 billboards going up in and around the Atlantic County Criminal Court Complex so that people traveling in that area will become aware of this situation with Shaneen Allen. And you stated it quite accurately. Unfortunately, New Jersey is the place that rights go to die. And this person was completely innocent. Her only crime was crossing the border into New Jersey, which is something that most people who own and carry firearms should probably think twice about before they proceed. But at any rate, we've got that going. I also want people to know, I'm going to bring you up to date on all the projects. So we got the 4 billboards going up. Thanks to you and to Alan Gottlieb, we raised over $6,000 in just a couple of days. And, it was amazing. And I've got to tell you, we were able to get a good deal on the billboards, and thanks to the generosity of your listeners and yourself and Alan Gottlieb, we were able not only to put up the billboards, but also to write a check and present a check to Shaneen for $1,000 for her upkeep, because ever since this arrest, she's lost her job. She was a hardworking single mom. She's lost her job. She has no income. She has no source of income whatsoever. So we're trying to help her out with that as well. And to that note, I just want to mention that on our site, nj2as.com, if you click on her picture, down below at the bottom, you're going to see a maintenance link that you can click on if you'd like to make a donation directly to her. Now, we don't have anything to do with that. It doesn't go through us. It goes directly into her PayPal account. So if you feel like while she's out of work, struggling with this persecution, that you'll help her out with her bills.
You told me on the phone
right away.
Hey, Frank, you talked to Shaneen in the last couple of days, didn't you?
Absolutely. We met. I introduced her at the Tea Party of Middlesex County. I was asked to introduce her, and that's when where we presented her with the check. And I will say that she and her family are just absolutely lovely people. It was a real pleasure to meet her. She is a soft-spoken woman who is a law-abiding person. She's certainly not a criminal. And even after all this, she doesn't. She's not offended by the law or upset by the law. She believes in the law and order. But this was a mistake, not a crime. And she's quick to bring up the fact that she's not a criminal. I mean, and that should be obvious, really, to anyone that understands the procedure for obtaining a carry permit. You have to pass, at least in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure in most states, you have to pass background checks, and you have to show that you're not a felon and you're not mentally imbalanced. So
where are we in terms of the trial? That's coming right up, isn't it?
So the trial's coming October 6th. And we do plan to be there, but in the meantime, just so you know, the billboards will help every this Monday, starting tomorrow, and every Monday for the foreseeable future. I and a group of volunteers will be at the Atlantic County Criminal Court Complex, handing out to everyone that walks by brochures on the from FIJA, the Fully Informed Jury Association, about their rights and responsibilities as jurors. It speaks about jury nullification. It speaks about all of the different rights and responsibilities that jurors have. We want to educate people. That's all we're doing. We're not trying to jury tamper. We're not trying to do anything other than to educate people on their constitutional rights as jurors. So we'll be doing that, and if any of your listeners are in the area of New Jersey and would like to help out, we need volunteers to give out these pamphlets. We're going to have 3 shifts every Monday, Monday morning, afternoon, and lunchtime, and then late afternoon.
What's the best way for them to sign up? Is it still at the website, NJ2AS?
All of it. Everything that I'm talking about today, you can find out the specific information. Just go to NJ2AS.com and look at our upcoming events. You'll see the nationwide effort to save Shaneen. That's a lot of general information. You'll see the NJ2AS Fully Informed Jury Project, which is what I just spoke about. You'll see the information on the billboard campaign that we just ran. And you're going to see something that I think is also very, very important. Governor Christie is celebrating his birthday by holding a fundraiser in East Brunswick, New Jersey, which is Central Jersey. Yeah. And he's having it at the Swanky Hilton Hotel in East Brunswick. We are meeting, that's the 10th, that's coming up this Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So September 10th, he's holding this event from 6 to 8. We'll be there at 5 o'clock. We are going to hold a rally. We're meeting, actually, the event itself, the Christie event is being held at 3 Tower Center Drive in East Brunswick. We will be assembling at 4 Center Tower Drive right behind the Holiday Inn Express.
Okay, Frank, let me do this. I know the information is going to be on your website, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do this. Let's just drive them there because that's a lot of detail, and people are not going to be able to write that down listening on the radio. If you go to NJ2AS, that's like New Jersey Second Amendment Society, you get all the information, NJ2AS.com. Frank, do me a favor. When you get when the billboards get up, take a picture, put it on your website, and I'll drive people over there to take a look. We want to see what we get, what we're doing, and we'll keep everybody posted, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Frank. Frank Fiamingo from the New Jersey Second Amendment Society. Thank you, guys and gals. Thank you so much helping this lady out. Sweet, soft-spoken, mother of 2, hard-working lady, lost her job, and now being prosecuted/persecuted by the folks in New Jersey. Well, we'll see if we can help a little bit. All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where Bore Tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting Bore Tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let Bore Tips help. To find a dealer, visit BoreTips.com.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com. Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner. You'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Weather can affect your shot. Extreme cold, extreme hot, no matter what, Australian Outback Ammo has you covered. Ammunition loaded to shoot the same spot every time. And now Australian Outback offers 300 Blackout with loads from a 125 grain bullet to a 220 grain subsonic load. Check it out at outbackammo.com.au. outbackammo.com.au.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to WaltherArms.com for more information. That's WaltherArms.com.
Never miss a minute of Gun Talk. If you can't be here for the live broadcast, download the Gun Talk app for your smartphone to catch up on older episodes or to listen when it's convenient for you. Now, more Gun Talk.
All right, back with you. Line 2, Barry's with us out of Carson City, Nevada. Barry, what you looking for? Barry went for a sandwich. Let's drop down to line 4, Robert's in Wilsonville, Oregon. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Tom. Tom, I just recently picked up one of the Ruger American rifles in 308, and I haven't even fired a round to this gun yet. I'm wanting to know what your thoughts on fire lapping this rifle are. Is that going to improve?
Have you ever fire lapped a barrel?
No, I haven't.
Why would you want to do that?
Just to improve the accuracy.
No. Don't do that.
No?
Just don't do that. I mean, look, these things are, I mean, what caliber are you getting?
308.
308. It will shoot, my guess is, I'll bet you out of the box it's going to shoot half-inch groups at 100 yards.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be doing a lot of, I'm going to use it for elk over here, coastal elk, and the shots are usually really long because the only way you can really find them is get a clear cut when the sun comes up, and they're usually really long shots. So
How long?
400 yards.
Not a problem. I mean, look, if it's a half-inch group at 100, that makes it a 2-inch group at 400 yards. An elk's got an 18-inch vital area. That's not on the gun. That's on you. It shouldn't be a problem at all. What you do need, let me ask you a question. Have you done much target shooting at 400 or 500 yards?
It's been a while. I bow hunted for years. Now I'm going back to the rifle hunting.
Okay. The key here is going to be, here's what I would do. I would not put money into fire lapping. I would put money into buying a good laser rangefinder. Because the difference between, okay, you got one?
Yes, good. I do.
Perfect, because that's the important information. Because the difference between 350 and 450 is 7 to 10 inches, maybe more than that drop. So if you know the exact distance, then you know, I mean, ballistic tables are pretty easy. Wind drift is a whole different deal, but as far as drop, you can either dial it in if you have that kind of scope, or you can do a holdover. But remember, Gresham's law of shooting at critters, all right? Always aim at hair. If you think it's way out there and you should shoot and aim right over its back, don't do it. Put the crosshairs on hair somewhere. because the chances are great that it's not as far as you think. Now, with the laser rangefinder, that helps. But still, aim at hair. If you got to aim over its back, it's too far. Get closer. Gresham's law of shooting at critters. Always aim at hair. Why do I know? Because I shot over the back of a couple of critters before I figured it out. 866-TALK-GUN.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
All right, back with you here. I tell you what, in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking about a really great competitive shooting event. We're featuring it actually on the next 2 weeks of Gun Talk Television. By the way, Gun Talk Television airs on Mondays at 8 a.m. Eastern. This is on the Pursuit Network. Wednesdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. You can, of course, DVR it. If you have Dish or Direct, on Direct, it's channel 604. On Dish, it's channel 393. Check your local listings, and there are some cable systems that have it out there anyway. So, yes, I thank you for that note. It's just popping up on my caller screen and keyboard. They're cleaning the keyboard over there, so we get the most interesting things popping up on our screen there. Tell you what, guys, I want to pick up line 3. Mike's in Fresno, California. I got a question for me. Hi, Mike.
Hi there. This is my first time calling. I'm kind of a fan of the program. One of the previous calls had mentioned of firearm training institutes, and I've heard about an institute called Front Sight. I was curious if their street reputation matches up with what they're claiming online.
What are you hearing?
Well, they're just supposed to be the best of the best. They can take a shooter that's, somebody that's never picked up a gun, and in a 2-day course, they specifically say draw a weapon from a concealed holster and fire 2 shots downrange at 5 yards at the center of the target in under 1.5 seconds.
Here's the thing. Do a bunch of Googling and put in Front Sight and problems as your Google search. Do that for every single place you're thinking about going. Gun Sight, Front Sight, Thunder Ranch. Drill down. Do your due diligence. And look, Front Sight may have good instruction. What I see is a lot of people go to Front Sight for their first class, and they say, this is the best thing ever. And I always say, really? What other schools have you been to? None. Well, then how do you know? It's better than what you had before, which was nothing. How do you know it's any good? You don't. Here's the one thing I would say is, it's funny you call, because I was just reading a piece this morning by a guy who went, and he is an advisor, a financial advisor, a real estate advisor. He says, whatever you do, go take the class, do what you want to do. Do not sign up for the long-term deal, the long-term membership. Because, you understand that this is basically a membership deal. They're going to get you there and try to sell you stuff. That's what Front Sight's about. Okay. This is a real estate deal. And they're going to try to get you to buy stuff. They're going to try to get you to buy the super-duper long-term membership and all that. If you want training, buy training. But buying long-term memberships and things like that means you're loaning them money on a long-term basis. You only loan money to people that you could get their financials on. You won't be able to get that. And to be fair, you're not going to get that from any private entity. I don't do long-term loans to private entities. When you say, they're the best ever, I'm going, and to be fair, I've not been there, but boy, this write-up I was reading this morning says, we only had like 4 or 5 negligent discharges during the class. I'm going, what? What? That's okay. Yeah, one is too many. One's a lot too many. I get it. Stuff happens, but do your homework. Drill down. Read other reviews. No matter where you want to go. Front Sight, Gun Sight, Thunder Ranch, Shoot Right, SIG Academy, I don't care. Go find people who have been to more than one school who have been there. That's when you start to really find out what's going on. Because if that's the only school you've ever been to, then how do you know? better than what I had before. Yeah, what'd you have before? Oh, I read a book. Yeah, right, okay. Be careful out there. It's your money. It's your time. It's your body. You don't want anybody putting holes in it. You got to protect your wallet at the same time. 866-TALK-GUN. We're talking competition when we come back.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.